What's up, everybody? It's Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions, and today we're going to be going over how to do a Fetty Wap track. What's up, everybody? It's Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions and Studio1Tutorials.com, and today we're going to be going over how to do a Fetty Wap type track. Lately, I've been doing a lot more commercial type production, going into making tracks, thinking about trying to pitch it to artists who are looking specifically for radio ready type music. And stuff like that, and it's outside of my normal workflow. Normally I just make what I make, but when I work like this, the way that I get my work accomplished is I'll go and study stuff. So I've been studying the Hot 97 top 10 in the morning, the East Coast playlist, the radio stations down here in Miami, and just seeing what's still on there. And this Fetty Wap dude with the Trap Queen song, like that song's had legs for so long. People really seem to enjoy it, so I decided to break it down, make something like it, and just kind of see what they had going on that made it tick, and share it with you guys. So this is what we have so far. Alright, so obviously not the exact remake. Don't like exact remakes. Can't use exact remakes. This is something that was close. The first thing that I noticed about that song and a few other songs on the radio, and other popular songs, like a good example is the That's My Shit by Dream, produced by Tricky Stewart, is they've got these chordal patterns that are really driving the song. So we'll start there with the chords. All I did was just I use Omnisphere. You guys are probably tired of seeing Omnisphere in my tutorials, but it's my favorite synth. It's what I use. I just went, and again, I love this browser. Just looking for a poly synth. I knew I wanted something aggressive, and I took it a step further, went to the genre high energy, went ahead and found this sound here. That's a major chord, so it doesn't sound too mean. So I just I took wanting to do something trappy. So normally when you're doing a trap chord, you're either going to use actual brass or you're going to use some type of Euro synth, some type of trancey synth. So that's how I went about picking this sound. And the actual pattern, when you look at it, it's real easy. I start with I'm in the scale of E minor. I picked that because I found that there's a good amount of pretty popular urban pop tracks that are in E minor. So I figured, why not? Let me mess with it. Just started with the one chord, and then I just moved this note up one, and then I moved this note up one. So the progression that you wind up getting is 1 1 1 6 4. These are just inversions. This is what it sounds like. Then when I got to the last bar, I dropped down to the 7th chord and the 5th chord. In regular like pop and R&B music, going from 7 to 5, that's just a good way to bring a softer type of emotion out, and 5 is always good for turning the song around. So if this is your first time watching one of my tutorials, you're going to want to go back and look at my chord tutorials and watch those first. I'll put links in the description. That way you can kind of get a better understanding of what I'm saying. So, but yeah, when you go from 7 to 5, that'll give you that nice a nice softer feel, which is a good strategy when you're turning your progression around and you're trying to make something a little bit more accessible to radio, because you could do this progression right here all day in a regular trap song and make like a like just a straight up hard song. It almost sounds like some old school Ross, but when you come back and you add this section, when you go down to the 7, it adds almost like an R&B quality. And going down in your chord progressions will do that. When you move up in your chord progressions, that's going to I feel like that the best way to describe it is it adds an energy. It's going to hype things up. When you go down, that's going to more like tug at your heart. So the next piece that I added was this snare. This snare ride right here. Now I chose this snare sample. I just liked it. I wanted to do something different than just the regular old trap 808 snare clap layered thing. This hit a lot harder than those snares. I just shortened the release on it so that I wouldn't have all that reverb muddying up the mix, so I could do these kind of short hits. If you want to replicate the pattern, the MIDI pattern that I have here, just take a screenshot of it, and you can dissect that later. It's it's a pretty simple snare run. The next part of the track that comes on is this arp. Arps in commercial songs, I mean, they're always money. You know what I mean? It's good to kind of bring up the energy. The way that I made this track is I started from from right here and just started building pieces. Sometimes I'll just build a hook and then take parts out. This was a method that I just used to kind of when I work like this, it helps me build up to something more hype. So that's if you're having trouble doing adding energy into your tracks, you could try that. So this ARP was just something, again, an Omnisphere, awesome organizer, category ARP, any type, and I just started scrolling down, found this ARP, and all I did was I took the original chords that I was playing and just and just drag them out, you know, turn them into block chords, and then that way you get this sound. The next thing that I did was I added a riser. This is from the Vengeance Dubstep Sound Kit. It sounds like this. That effect that you hear over everything, I went ahead and put Effect Tricks. This is an awesome plugin for doing like tape stops and stutters and stuff like that. Check out my template tutorial so you can kind of get an idea of the best way to route something like this. I have this on my filter bus, which is basically every sound in the beat before it hits the mix bus. And I just the last half of the bar, I just put a tape stop on, and Roxy, no, the last bar of the pattern, I put a tape stop on and just a quick stutter. And what I did so that it doesn't so I don't have this effect on the whole beat, if you go to this button right here and you go to add and remove parameters, I had the bypass was sitting over here. You could pick what parameter you want to automate. You just highlight it and click add, and then it'll come over to this side. You close this up and it'll give you an automation track. So throughout the whole song, I only turn this effect on once, so that we get that stutter and tape stop. Otherwise, you see, if I didn't do this, it would play all the time. Right? All right, so the next thing I added was this impact. That's that's kind of my signature impact. I use it on pretty much every beat that I put an impact on. The next sound that I went ahead and programmed in, I started working on a bass lead. And this right here, all I'm doing is I'm playing the root notes of the chords. Let's see if you guys can see this. Yeah, I'm just playing the root notes of these chords. You know, this is a 1 chord, this is a 6 chord, this is a 4 chord. So 1 4 6 1 4 6. Pretty easy stuff right there. The sound is, it's called Jupiter Hoover inside Omnisphere. I had to tweak it a little bit, messing with the timbre, and what else was it? The attack was really slow. It was almost coming in like a pad, so I had to make it more like a synth. So that's a really cool sound. I like sounds that have those type of layers where there's two things going on. Originally it sounded like this. And you hear that synth in the background that's cutting out. That was kind of aggravating me, so I just turned it down so it wasn't as present. And because really all I wanted was the growl. The next thing that I did was I took my custom 808 that I use in Razor, and I copied this and pasted it. I went ahead and cut the lows out of this, out of the Jupiter Hoover, and I used the 808 to provide that low end. So I've got this synth, you know, doing the character, getting the overall tone, right? And then I've got my 808 synth. You see, I've dragged out long notes so that it doesn't sound like 808 kicks. You see, that just adds the body to the sound that's going to provide the low end for the track. Next thing that I brought in was the kick drum. This is out of the Superstar O Ultimia kit. This guy's got awesome drums. It's totally worth it. If you don't have good drums, if you're looking for good drums, this guy's kits, the Pro Mixed kits, are the ones you want to get. And it's a really simple kick pattern. It follows those the staccato chords. So if you guys want to try to recreate this kick pattern, you know, just screenshot the screen. It's just the same bar, these same kicks over and over again. Very simple. You keep that in mind when you're trying to do more of a commercial vibe. Don't get crazy avant-garde with your drums. You're not out to prove that you're an amazing drum programmer for the other producers around your way. You know, you're just trying to make something to make people nod their head. And just keep it simple, but don't be basic. Then I put a little trap hi-hat pattern on it. This is all I did was on the threes, I used the 16th triplet roll. And over here, these were like these hits look like these. What I did was I changed them to 16th notes, and I shrunk them down. Then I just highlighted all of them. I went to 32 note triplets. Right click, split it grid, and that's how I got that roll. And that's the basic 4-bar loop. Nothing crazy. It's regular trap hi-hats. The next thing that I added was the piano. And again, that was just that's just the chords. Instead of being staccato, I just drug them out. Nothing crazy there. And then what I did was I added a pad on top of it. you know, because everything in the track sounds so synthesized. I didn't want to have this dry acoustic instrument in there, you know, sounding awkward. So you kind of think of the pad and the piano as one instrument. Last thing was a lead. Again, this is another Omnisphere patch. You know, just using the browser, going through the presets. I found this sound. So, you know, this melody, in order to create it, all I did was, I knew that, here, let me see if I could, there we go. I just used, I brought this up and I used the, sometimes to create melodies on top of chords, the easiest thing to do is just take the top notes and, you know, start with one of the top notes and then move down. Start with the next top note and move down. Start with the next top note, move down a step or two. And, you know, you get a different type of harmony that you're playing along with. You know that when you add instruments, sometimes you have a tendency to start with the root note of a chord. Try starting out with the top note of a chord and moving down and up, and see how you like that. You probably wind up with some cool melodies. So yeah, I just experimented with what sounded good, came up with this. Altogether, it sounds like this. So, you know, the hook is good. It sounds big and bright. For the verses, a lot of the stuff you hear on the radio, especially like R&B type of stuff, the first half of the verse, or the first 4 bars of the verse, you'll notice a lot of times they'll have a really sparse bass line, and that kind of gives the artist a chance to build up their energy. So you want to try implementing that in your tracks. You know, the first part of the verse here, you see I don't have a lot of sounds going on. I brought the snare roll back, and then I go into just playing the kick and a slower hi-hat pattern. You want to make sure that you vary your drums when you're doing records like this that are a little simple. That's what the whole keep it simple but don't be basic. Don't just make a 4-bar loop and take things out and put things back in. So this is what the first verse sounds like. You'll also notice that my first verse is 8 bars instead of 16. That's a good trick, is to start with a shorter verse, whether it's an 8 or a 16 bar verse. That way you can get to that hook really quick. You know what I'm saying? And sound more like a traditional pop song. The next verse I did was a 16. It's the same pattern as the verse I just played you, and then what I changed was the next part that I bring in, I added a different hi-hat section, and I brought the arpeggio in. And that's pretty much it. The main thing that you want to take away from this, and trying to do songs like this is an easy trick is get yourself a good sounding kick rhythm first, right? And then just go ahead and play your chords in the same rhythm. A lot of different songs work like this, and you could just see when you listen to when you just listen to that. That's gonna make you nod your head right there. Let your kick lead the track. Make sure that your main harmonic instrument, whatever you're gonna use your chords, follows along with that kick drum, and you're already gonna have the blueprint for a commercial radio song. And then everything else is just giving the instrument space, not trying to be too crazy and with the kicks and do too much rolls and shit like that, and just have fun with it, and make sure when you're making it, it's making you smile and it's making you want to get up. And you'll be on your way to making some some really commercial sounding tracks. And even if it's not your thing, when you're going around and you're trying to get with artists, you're gonna meet a lot of artists from around your way and who you network with, who are gonna want music like this, because rappers are always trying to make hits. So if you can produce stuff like this, it's gonna be able to get you a lot of really good relationships on top of the regular stuff that you do that that really moves your passion and your desire for music. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something. Hope you took a lot away from this. This is Concrete Zebra with Craftmaster Productions, Studio1Tutorials.com. I appreciate all you, and I'll see you on the next one.